Hello, this is the Jurassic Expert here, back with another video. Um, so yeah, I am doing another Godzilla King of the Monsters toy review. This was the other pack that I found at Walmart when I found that Lego set that I actually filmed finding. So make sure to check that video out, along with my previous Godzilla King of the Monsters toy review. Um, so yeah, let's actually take a look into this pack. Um, so let's actually start off with Mothra. So Mothra, I gotta say, she doesn't seem to be as detailed in texturing or paint as much as the other Godzilla and Rodan and all that. I don't know about King Ghidorah because I actually did not find that pack and get that pack. So, um, but yeah, one thing that I was impressed with, let's actually go into paint first. So, they actually did the design of her wings on both sides of the wings, which I found it was really impressive, especially since most of the times this has been like mainly through experience with Jurassic Park or Jurassic World pteranodons. They don't usually do both sides of the wings. Sometimes they don't even put paint on the wings at all. So I was really surprised that they did this. And yeah, they did paint Mothra's eyes. Don't know how well you could see that on camera there. Um, so you could kind of see that her eyes are painted and they're really small. They did not do any dry brushing with the figure to bring out any detail, but I can still tell that there is quite a bit of detail in this figure. Um, and yeah, I do kind of wish that there was a little bit of texturing in the wings, but you know what? I'd kind of rather have just this design than have the texturing and there be no paint on it at all. Um, but yeah, I do kind of wish that the colorings for like Mothra, the actual Mothra figure, uh, were a little bit more on par with the movie and not just brown, and that was it. Because I mean, Mothra in the film had a wide variety of colorations and all that, so I do kind of wish that there was a little bit of those different colorations. But you know what? With a figure this small, and I can see why they didn't do it as well. So yeah, let's actually go into articulation. So there's a little ball joint in both wings. Now this was a little bit bad because the way how they made the ball joints, they're really weak. Like even when I got it, I can't like keep the wings up like this. I can't have the wings up because they'll just end up falling back. So you can't really have her in like a flapping wing position. It's pretty much just more of a gliding position that she's always in. Um, but yeah, they can both turn a full 360. Um, and yeah, so the articulation for the wings is pretty nice, and I can see why they didn't do the joints in any of her legs. Um, for a second, I thought there might have actually been a hinge in her legs. Um, I can kind of see why, just because they are a lot smaller than the other figures. So, yeah. Just going to Sarah's side. Now let's take a look at the Godzilla. Now, spoilers ahead. So this is the Godzilla where he's pretty much, I don't know, like a living atomic bomb or something. Where pretty much all the, nuclear energy, or I think atomic or nuclear energy, whichever it was, or again, if you watched the last video, you know that I'm mainly a Jurassic Park fan. I'm still kind of a big noob when it comes to Godzilla lore and all that. So don't be too hard on me for not knowing stuff. But yeah, anyway, so this is pretty much supposed to be him just like a walking bomb, I guess. Except he doesn't really explode or anything. He just pretty much can melt solid metal to the touch of just by walking by it. So yeah, this is a really cool figure that I think they decided to make. So let's actually take a look at the articulation. So it's pretty much the same as the original. You get a swivel joint in the neck, so it can go a full 360. Arm can go up that much, back that much. This arm can go up that much, back that much. This leg can go forward that much, back that much. This leg can go forward that much and back that much. And there are 2 swivel joints in 2 parts of the tail, so it does move a full 360 there, and it moves a full 360 there. Paint-wise, they actually did a lot. They actually put a lot more paint with this Godzilla than they did the atomic breath version. So they did paint the teeth, and they painted the eyes orange instead of blue like the other one, instead of blue like the atomic breath one. And they painted like a little bit of orange on the spikes, just like they did paint blue on the spikes of the other one. So yeah, but then they also did orange dry brushing like on the underbelly and on the legs. So I think that is impressive. I kind of would have liked it if they did paint more of that orange throughout the tail, maybe a little bit more of this nice dry brushing throughout the tail. But you know what? For the size of this figure, I am going to give him a pass on that. So yeah, let's actually take a look at the, what is this, like a Mayan temple of some sort? I don't know. It's a temple of some sort. I know that. So, spoilers. So this is kind of like where they were originally holding Mothra when she was in like her cocoon / larva state. So I do like all the detail that they got into this. They got all the vines and everything, especially looking at how small this card is. I do know that they could have easily just had this, like, the artist making this could have just had it as like a bigger print and they just shrunk it down for this set. But still, I am really impressed with all the detail they got into this little background piece. Again, my main complaint with these is that they're really too small for the figures. Like, Godzilla is actually taller than the background itself. Mothra's wingspan is longer than the background itself. I don't know, it just doesn't really work that well. But yeah. So let's actually move that aside, and let's take a look at some comparisons. So for your Godzilla comparison, here is with the only other Godzilla figure that I have, the Atomic Breath Godzilla. So yeah, as you can see, you got orange instead of blue, and that's pretty much about it for differences, except I do think that there is actually more paint on this one than there is this one, so I do actually really appreciate that. One thing I forgot to mention in my previous video is the fact that the company that makes these, which I think is Jakks Pacific, is the fact that they were kind of sitting on a pot of gold here, because King of the Monsters, they showed like a bunch of different monsters emerging from all over the world. And I think that they could have actually made a lot of money had they made those other monsters into like these little figure packs. Like you could have the Behemoth Titan versus the I don't know, like I'm trying to think off the top of my head one of the other ones. It could be like against the Muto. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know if it's Muto or Mato. I'm not sure. But yeah, that aside, let's take a look at some Jurassic World figure comparisons, which is what I usually review on my channel. So for your human Jurassic World figure, here's Ellie Sattler next to Godzilla. You can see that she's a little bit taller than Godzilla. There is Mothra next to Ellie Sattler there. And for your Attack Pack Jurassic World comparison, here is Godzilla next to Blue, and there's Mothra next to Blue as well. Again, Godzilla is about the same size as Blue, just a little bit smaller, but then you got, like, Mothra as well, and a nice little background, and they pretty much cost the same as the Attack Packs and the human figures. So yeah, these cost about $10 in the United States. You know what? I'm going to say that this is kind of worth its price. Just because you get a decently articulated miniature figure that still has quite a bit of detail, um, and you get like a nice, and you get two of those figures in one pack as well. Um, and you get a little background. Had it been by itself, yeah, I would definitely say that $10 would have been way too much for one of these, but since they're throwing them in two of them plus the background in one pack, I'm definitely going to say that $10 is worth it. So yeah, as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I put up new videos. Not quite like this one. And as always, dinosaurs might be older than you, but you are never too old for